Hello everyone and welcome back to the hardcore cottagecore let's play. Last episode we updated to the tiny takeover update and built this lovely chicken cabin, I guess is what you could call it. And as you can see, I did let a couple of the chickens in here grow up. I have, I think, one of each color adult chicken. The little ones don't really follow the same variant chicken, so it's a little bit mixed, but that's okay. But having the adult regular chicken in here means that I can have more eggs collected, so I can get more of the little yellow guys, which I love. Although I don't have any golden dandelions on me at the moment. I did steal one earlier because I wanted to try and get another one, so I should probably get a replacement for that and also just keep some on me for fun. There we go, that's better. And now let's see if we can get a chicken. Oh, we did! There you go. Hey, little guy. I think we're raising the numbers of the yellow ones. We have 2 out here and 3 in there, so that's 5. I guess we're still way behind on those guys, but we'll keep working on it. Another thing that I saw from the comments of the last video was making some little nests in here, which I think is such a good idea, especially because we do have access to that coral reef that we recently discovered. So I think that's what I'm going to do first today. We do have some other stuff that I want to work on in the village, but before that I'll take a quick little trip to the ocean. And yeah, in addition to getting the coral, we could also get some more tropical fish. I really have not been keeping up with my axolotl breeding as much as I should have, so I think I have the stash of buckets somewhere in here, in one of these barrels. Oh yeah, here we go. I did also kind of want to get some coral for the lake project that I have planned out, but I don't think I'll do that today, because that's going to be quite a big project, and I think I have a couple other things planned that will take up just a little bit too much time. And let's see if I can get there before nighttime. Here it is, the donkey hole, just in time. I really don't like leaving this guy out for any periods of time, even to sleep, because they are so fast. They usually get away from me very, very quickly. Oh, and our nautilus! I was looking, but I didn't think I was actually gonna find you. Oh my goodness. But there are pufferfish around, I guess. Oh, over there. Hey, buddy. Alright, well, anyways, this guy will make coral collecting and fish collecting a little bit easier. Oh my goodness. What the heck? Another trident guy? That's terrible. What the heck? Why does this always happen to me? I was really not prepared for that. What the heck? I was so lucky I was able to find them, and I only had them for like 15 seconds. I really do think that the nautilus should have more health, because that's like 2 hits and they're done. Well, that's very sad for us. Look at all these tridents. What a bummer, that's so disappointing. I'm pretty sure the last time I was here, I didn't run into a single drowned. And it was like right in this area. That's so weird. Okay, you know what? I have an updated mission. I'm gonna just try to get another nautilus. I think I really will need him to travel all the way to the coral reef today. Okay, well that's at least all of the tropical fish collected. And in that process, I've also found quite a lot of pufferfish as well. And I'm getting less and less scared of their poison every time, even though I usually get hit by them somehow. And last time there were a lot of nautili over here, so I'm hoping that's where they'll still be today. Oh my gosh, I didn't know pufferfish could give you bone meal. That's strange. Anyways, now I've got the opposite problem as last time. I have a lot of pufferfish, but no nautili anywhere. You know what, I'm gonna just start making my way to the coral reef, I guess, and see if I can get any nautili to spawn between here and there. There it is, I think I see it in the distance. It's really not as far away as I remember it being. Although I guess I did make plenty of stops along the way last time. Oh, there's a nautilus over there. Hello, friend. Would you like... Oh, you got it in 2 pufferfish. How very nice of you. You're just in time, because we're almost at the coral reef, and I really didn't want to be underwater without a nautilus, because I've been a little bit spoiled, I think. Now, I think I should just be able to do that, and this is a fan, so I think if we place it in our barn like this, yeah, and then just have like a slab of water, it should be good. Oh, I also have that one bit of bone meal. I wonder what happens. Oh, we do get some corals. Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for also some sea pickles, but there's plenty around here that I can steal instead. I don't need a ton of these fans for the chicken coop, but while I'm here I think I'm also gonna get some of the regular corals maybe for our fish tank that we have in the basement, just because the decoration in that one is very sparse, to say the least. I think I'm gonna try to get one of every kind, and that should be good. Oh, but also while I'm here, I think I'm gonna get a couple more of these blocks, just because they are so good to put in barrels as little blueberry barrels. All the rest of the colors I don't think have as much of a distinct pattern as these guys, although I do kind of like the purpley ones, so maybe I'll do some of those. I've really never built with coral before because I've never found a coral reef, I think, in any other world that was close enough for me to bother getting it as a building block, but there definitely are some possibilities to work with the color and the texture of these. But for today, I think we're good with what we have, so now I think it's time to head back in what I hope is the right direction. Oh, never mind, it's fine. I see land. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the last guy and just leave you here, but I'm hoping next time I come back, the outcome for you will be a little bit better than the last one. So yeah, anyways, have fun. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should have left the last guy with something a little bit stronger than copper armor, but you know, what's done is done. Okay, I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is go ahead and breed the axolotls, which I am notoriously very good at, and there will be no loss of any fish accidentally. I also haven't seen any of the baby axolotls since the update, but they're so cute. Oh my goodness. I mean, they were very cute before, but now they're even cuter. Look at them. Aww. And now for the teal ones. Yep, that one is also very adorable. Okay, those two pens were the ones with the least amount of axolotls in them. Now it gets a little bit more complicated remembering which ones I've bred already. And also it's way more chaotic in these ones. Oh, they're all so cute. These ones are very pale, like golden color. I didn't notice the other ones being that way. Although I guess maybe they are, just a hint brighter than their parents. Which I guess does make sense. Being babies, they haven't developed their full color or something. And last but not least, all of our pink axolotls. I think after I do this round of breeding you guys, I'm probably gonna go, and put some of you in a different pen, because this is getting a little bit chaotic. Ooh. Oh my gosh, caught it. Yeah, okay, we're reaching the entity cramming levels, I think, so some of you are gonna just go ahead and come with me. You won't even be moved that far, I promise. I mean, we aren't quite at the point of culling the herd quite yet. We're still very much in the relocation phases. Let's see, which pond would be the best for you guys? Maybe, probably a bigger one. Honestly, this is probably the biggest pool that I have, so I guess this will be good. You guys all can go in here. And yeah, this should be big enough for you guys for a while, right? This other one still is pretty cramped, but that's okay. Honestly, I might take out a couple more adults just because when the babies grow up, this is going to be crowded just like it was before. Okay, but now I think this is an evenly distributed axolotl pond. I'll just put all of the buckets away, and we can head back up to work on our little chicken coop, but that was a very good distraction. Oh, and actually, maybe I should have kept some of those buckets because I will need water to keep the coral alive. Let's see, I'll grab a couple of these, and also some nice axolotl water. And I don't really have an infinite water source near here, so maybe this can be the purpose of our little interior space we have. We'll just make a nice little puddle, I guess. Oh, and before we do anything, we do have another egg. But no chicken. That's okay. Anyways, I think if I do probably every other block. Oh my goodness, hello. Every other block I think should be a good distance. Because of course the fans will spread out. Oops. Oh, what the heck, does that not work? Slabs? Oh, it's because I have that there. Huh, never mind. I did kind of like that. You know what, maybe I'll do... Let's see, this one can be water instead. Okay, there we go. Now if I just keep doing that, I think that having them kind of spaced out will be good. One more in the corner here. And I think that's a lot better. It gives a nice little detail in here that makes it more realistic. And you know what, I'm going to improve their little roosting spot just a little bit. And maybe I'll even do that up there, potentially. I don't actually think they can jump all the way up there, but it does look like they could feasibly do that if it wasn't Minecraft. So I think it makes some good extra decoration. I do have one more horn coral fan, but I think this amount of them is good in here. They do really match the little yellow ones, which is kind of funny. And if I did want it to match the floor more, I could do hay bales on the floor instead. That would make the yellow be a little bit less obvious. Okay, you know what, maybe I will do that. I know we're getting very distracted, but just for a second. Oh, and I actually do already have hay bales in here. Of course, the spruce planks will still have to stay brown, but maybe I'll take out some of this podzol. because that I think is what contrasts the bright yellow the most. And yeah, that makes it look a lot more cohesive, right? I really do like that it matches more with the floor now. And it does feel a lot less empty in here. It's way more decorated now, which is nice. Oh my gosh, and the flood of them is all coming in now. See, don't you guys like it? Isn't it cozy? Some nice little nest boxes for you. Oh, they're so cute. I still can't get over it. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Their little legs, they're so funny. Yeah, that definitely is a lot better than just being a bare floor in here. And the little chickens are still barely taller than the coral fan, which is good. They don't get completely buried in it. But yeah, I'd say that's a mission successfully completed. I'll leave you guys to enjoy your refurbished home in here. And I guess I haven't said the main goal of today, but I'm sure it was in the thumbnail anyways. My plan is to build something right here to fit in the center of the village, which I really haven't started on because I've been a little bit hesitant on what exactly I want to put in here. It's kind of higher stakes in my mind instead of just working on like the outskirts of the village. But I'm really excited to put a building in here, and it will have a purpose, mainly actually to fix the overwhelming honeycomb problem from the accidentally OP farm that I made, because you can craft candles with honeycomb and string. So I have looked at what we've explored so far underground, and a few episodes ago we did find a spider spawner, which happens to be right under here. I marked the coordinates, so it should be right on this block is the actual spawner. So I think once we make the actual farm and then get like a little walkway and a storage system and everything, it should be like about out to this like spot here almost. So if we make like a bubble column in this area, it should be close enough to where we would just have to walk a couple blocks to then be right at that farm. So it's very, very lucky that that happened, and it should all work out. I think that the way that I'm gonna get down there, actually, instead of going through the cave system, because we did start all the way over in our mineshaft building, I am actually going to dig straight down to get to it, and it is at like almost the bottom of the world again, like our skeleton spawner. So this is pretty dangerous, but I mean, I think if there was any giant caves down there, I would have run into them already, considering how much exploring I've done, but I will grab a bucket of water just in case. Oh, and I guess there aren't actually source blocks in this fountain. You know what, that's fine. I guess I'll just go back to my chicken cabin and get some water. See, I knew this room would have a purpose eventually. Honestly, what I really need to do is just make a little mini well, like people do with that little, like, 2x2 design with the stairs and stuff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but maybe I will do that later today. That is, if I actually survive this, which who knows. I know that when I found it, I did at least clear it out and like light it up and stuff, so there shouldn't be any danger once we actually get down there. It's just a matter of getting there. As they say, the journey matters more than the destination, and in this case, that is actually pretty true. Even though that's really not what the saying is actually about. Oh my gosh, okay, but we made it. That definitely was not any nervous rambling. It's totally fine. And yeah, just like I remember it. I don't think any of these caves around here are particularly dangerous either, so that's good. Although I am realizing that I didn't bring enough water or kelp to make a bubble elevator right now. So we'll see how far I get in making this farm before I have to pile back up. But I'll at least be able to get a better idea of where the actual bubble elevator will be. And we have made a skeleton farm before, but spiders I think are a little bit different, because they do have to have like the certain amount of space so that they don't crawl up the walls, but then a wide enough like collection chamber so that they don't get stuck. So that may take a little bit of finessing, but if my sense of direction is correct, this is where we want like our bubble elevator to kind of be. I'm assuming that this is going to be the same size room, at least width-wise, and then I think it might need to be like a block shorter to prevent them climbing. Okay, this size room I think is correct. Mostly, I think like we might be able to get away with maybe one block more so that the ceiling is lower. I don't know, I might try that, because if the water is like this, they would have a lot of room below them, so it shouldn't affect the spawn rate too much if we lower it one more. I say that in my vast knowledge of absolutely nothing going on here. Worst case, we can just tear it down again. Okay, this is about as far as I can get without having actual materials, so let's just go ahead and pile all the way back up. Then I can get another bucket of water and some signs and kelp and soul sand and all of the things that I need for this. Okay, that took so long, but we made it. Okay, so I'll need a lot of kelp, a few signs, which I guess I might as well make out of bamboo, and then I should still have some soul sand from the nether in here. Oh yes, 3. You know what, that is enough, but we are running concerningly low on that. And this isn't going to be an XP farm, so I think I will take my magma blocks. That way this thing can be automatic. And I feel like I had hoppers left over from last episode. Oh, never mind, maybe not. That's fine. I think we might need 3 for this kind of farm. Not entirely sure though. I am very much just winging this at the moment. Luckily our bamboo farm does have plenty of bamboo in it, as well as some stick, which I can use to make some signs. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure this thing needs signs. They might just need to be flushed all the way in there without like any kind of bubble column, because they won't be able to climb the sides, you know? This guy knows. But yeah, maybe I'll just bring all of my bamboo with me anyways. That way I'll be able to craft almost anything while I'm down there. Oh, but I do have one door with me, that's good. I need that for the bubble elevator. And this does feel a lot safer the second time around. Oh, you know what I forgot to grab is a bucket of water. Oh no. Okay, well I will at least be able to do some stuff while I'm down here. Like I will at least be able to get the collection chamber in. I think it should be something like this, and then we'll let the water in. But we will have to bring them down by a couple blocks. Or at least a block, using some slabs. And yeah, then it should look like this, I think. I know if it was cave spiders, we would have to get another trapdoor line right there, but with regular spiders, I think we're good with just a half block. Oh, and then I'll also put the magma on these as well, at least for some of them, but I think this last one should be a hopper. That way it can be collected without having to use any hoppers and minecarts or anything like that. So I don't know if I'm supposed to have magma right here or not. I don't know, that might prevent them from wanting to go in this tunnel, but we'll see. This whole thing is basically going to be a giant experiment on spider behavior at this point. But yeah, I guess that's all I can really do. Everything else is a lot of just bubble elevator. Obviously I can't turn this thing on right now because my escape tunnel is right there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do this time is get 2 buckets of water. I think this puddle in this room is going to be the MVP of this episode, honestly. And then before we go back down, I'm going to actually plan out the basic layout of the cottage. That way I'll have a better idea of where the bubble elevator will be. And this is on a slight hill, which will, I think, have to come down. I mean, once we have the building in, we might be able to put the land back, like, around it, but at least for now, it's easier to just have a flat space to work with. Okay, so I can plan, like, generally to have it be fitting snug in with the roads that we have here. But maybe it would be nice to have a little bit larger of a walkway, and I guess technically this road is supposed to be 1 over if we're following what we have over here, I think. So maybe I'll just like put that in like that, and it can go all the way along here. I also want a little walkway since this thing is right on the street, so we'll have like an entryway right here, like the door can kind of be in like that wall and then it'll come across. Then this will be like the main room. Maybe I'll keep all of my string storage in here. And yeah, that's a good little layout for a cottage. It will block our little librarian, I don't know, I guess also cottage. That is a shame. I really like coming up this like pathway and looking at it. I don't know, I'll try to keep it shorter, I guess. Our other option is maybe bringing all of this pathway down 1 block. Then this would be on a little bit of a hill. Because it is also a little weird that this comes down to go into our greenhouse, you know? Or actually, I guess we are really close to the spawner. It wouldn't be that big a deal if I maybe moved this whole building back a few blocks, you know? This is running a little bit into the fountain now, but this fountain was always going to be temporary. I mean, it's not fabulous. You know what, that will save the view a little bit if we just have like that blocked off, but then once you come up here, you can see it better. That also means that we can put some more of the natural landscaping in, just like that, so it's a little bit more natural looking. But yeah, anyways, I might adjust the height still on the whole ground later, but for now, I think if we have like the entrance here, maybe our bubble column could either, well, that might be a little bit too close. Maybe it goes in this corner, here and here. That would be good. So yeah, that's still not too far away, right? And I don't want to try my luck twice today, digging straight down all the way almost to bedrock, so Instead, I think I'm gonna save the coordinates. That way I can dig straight up instead of straight down. Because I'm not sure, I think the cave might not even extend all the way in there, so I might get a little bit lost on the height of it as well. Okay, I'll put the second water bucket in here. Now that looks a little bit better. And now this place looks a little bit more legit. I think I'm even gonna be so bold as to block off our main tunnel area. 'Cause I am really curious to see how this thing works. Or rather, if it will work. So I think I'm just gonna break those off. And then run. Oh, never mind, I left one. That was very anticlimactic. Oh, we already got one. Hey, buddy. I haven't set up a storage system for this thing, which I probably should. See, I'll just make a couple of chests. And I think this one I set up to feed into the main one. Yeah, I did, okay. And this thing is working really well. Oh, but I think I haven't set up the central hopper to connect to the chest. You know what, that's easily fixable, I think. Let's just sneak in here and then like that. Okay, good. Okay, now you guys can come back in. And I'm really not gonna do a lot of decoration down here, but I will continue using our fancy polished tough slab to make a little bit of a ledge for us to stand on. And this thing is actually working really well. I think it's safe to say that moving the ceiling down one didn't affect any of the spawn rates, because there certainly are a lot of spiders coming down here. I mean, that's 23 candles we could make already. Okay, I can't resist it though, just a couple blocks of chisel tuff, making it extra fancy. The spider farm is fully functional, and it's all great except for the fact that we are trapped underground, so I should try to find those coordinates. Oops, but not take a screenshot. Let's see, 245 and 90. Okay, I'll go in a straight line from there. Going to 90 is right here. Oh, and there is a cave. Oops. That's so hard to see with F3 on. Okay then, that's interesting. There's a creeper over there. I'm just gonna, I think, block most of that up, probably. Okay, so this is 90 and we needed 245, right? Yes, okay, good. And yes, I did literally forget that in the 2 minutes since I've looked at it. Oh, and it looks like this tunnel we're making is going right out into the cave, which I don't love. Oh, and that creeper definitely sees me. Oh my gosh. No thank you. You're scary and I don't like it. Oh my gosh, are we even close to 245? 252. We are not. That's 7 blocks to go. $47, so close. Okay, it should be this block right here. I really wish I had actually brought some coal. Oh, what the heck? Is that an invisible spider? Anyways, like I was saying, I wish I brought coal because I could easily light that cave up. I swear I'm not that much of a chicken, but without torches it does make it a little bit more difficult. And also, I think that 245 number was just the first column, so we will need to go 1 more block over, or 2 more blocks, I guess. So this one should be 1 tunnel, and this one will be the other one. Oh my gosh. Gravel. So scary. Anyways, this should be the bubble tunnel, so I'm gonna do 1 more block, even, out this way. Gosh, it is kind of a big cave though, isn't it? This will give us a little walkway, so we can skirt around the bubble column. My gosh, that gravel just encased us in darkness. Yeah, that should be good. Maybe 1 more on this side. Then we will actually need to be able to step out of that tunnel as well. But this should be a good sized cobblestone box, right? I suppose I should put the walls back in for the water column. That way it's a little bit less messy. And I have my soul sand. Put that guy down, and then the door. Oh, and I just realized I put my water bucket in that spider spawner. Don't think... I mean, I could go back in there to get the other one. You know, maybe I could just sneak around the corner really quick and borrow it. This really is the worst order I could have done this in. But I will now make an infinite water source. And I'm pretty sure I put that bucket in the same place. I mean, the farm still seems to be working. Okay, so I'll put a safety little bucket of water at the bottom. Oops, or not. My gosh, I'm having serious problems with water today. But yeah, now I'll place a kelp, and then we can start just digging all the way up. And since the update, I don't have my mods on, so the torches aren't gonna glow like they should. So this will be very dark for both me and you, unfortunately. So I will try to speed through it as quickly as possible. Oh my gosh, I think that might be the longest bubble elevator I have ever made. Probably because we are kind of on a semi-mountain up here, so it was a good few blocks higher than the one that I made at the mine shaft. But now that one is all set, and I didn't run into any caves while I was doing that, so I feel pretty confident in just digging down for this one. Oh hey, and we got some free iron as well. And it looks like we made it. Oh, what the heck, and there's a glow squid in there. That is something I completely forgot would happen. But I can put a safety pool at the bottom there. And I think instead of using a door for this bubble column, I'm just going to use the signs that we made instead. That way there will be less flapping of the door open and closed whenever I have to walk by. But I'm really glad that we actually got the right coordinates for this. It would have been a shame if they didn't line up perfectly, but that should be a good spot for them once we build this whole thing up. But I think I do want to make a couple of adjustments to the tunnel down there. First thing is buying some lanterns to spruce it up a little bit. I also do know that in the update, any new librarians I think will trade candles instead of name tags. So I might try to get another librarian today and start it out with like a good book that I need, like Unbreaking or something at the bottom, and then just level it up to see what kind of candle they sell. I mean, I know that directly like undercuts what we're doing today, but it would still just be interesting to see. And I know it does feel very, very bright down here right now, but once we have the building in there won't be daylight coming through here as much, so I'm gonna put a lantern there and then maybe in the walls a little bit. Although I think we probably could make a more direct path to our spawner instead of this like very rigid corner one. I'm gonna try to just like dig like a diagonal right here maybe. Oh, and we did reach the outside of our cobblestone box. I'll just widen this a little bit, but I think it is a pretty uniform like diagonal path right to the spawner, which is nice. And now that we do have this, I think I can safely block up the other tunnel, since it is way less efficient than the one that we just made. I did block off the rest of this cave. It goes on for quite a ways and kind of opens up a little bit. It is relatively safe because of all the torches, but I think I'm gonna block it up anyways. I don't usually AFK a lot in this world, but if I ever do, I want it to be as safe as possible for myself. Oh my gosh, and I just realized how far down of a drop that is over there. My goodness, I am very glad that I am blocking all of that off. Okay, well I would say this is a cleaned up enough spider spawner area. It doesn't have to be fabulous, I'm just really happy that it actually ended up working and that we survived making the whole thing. So now I think I'll leave it down here. We've already gotten well over a stack of string, so all of our candle needs should be taken care of. I will bring up some of it because I also wanted to use it for the sniffer plants, which I think I also did not mention. But that is what used up all of my string supply in the first place, meaning that I wasn't able to make candles, but I also wasn't able to plant any more of the pitcher pods that I collected. But anyways, it's not like I've collected a ton of pitcher pods. I mean, it's just 7, but I think we have maybe space for one more row in this little tiny field over here, just skirting right along the edge. And then, you know, I guess I might as well replace some of these ones that don't have the bottom to them. And that's better. You can't really see the pods that I just put down, but eventually it'll make a bit of a difference. And I really do want to put more of these kind of fields around because it's such a unique looking flower. Like maybe around our original farm area somewhere. And of course that will require a lot of string, so it's really 50-50 for candles and plants. That's behind the reasoning for the farm today. But now that we've got it all set up, we should build the actual thing. I'm planning on using a lot of materials that I kind of already have lying around my world. Like a lot of bricks from all of our stonemasons and some green terracotta, which I can buy. And then like some deep slate and mossy cobblestone, which I think I got some cobblestone from digging that pit. And actually, I don't think I filled in that pit. I really should do that, shouldn't I? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go grab some deep slate actually, so I don't waste any precious stone filling that in. I'm going to use smooth deep slate just because I have a lot of it, but another feature of the update that I don't think I mentioned is that you can now craft cobbled deep slate out of the regular deep slate, which is really, really nice if you go mining with a silk touch pickaxe and accidentally get a whole double chest full of that stuff. So that's really handy. I won't really use it today, but still very cool. The safest way to do this, I think, is going to be to put a bucket of water down and then wait a second and then just kind of follow it all the way to the bottom. And spiders can't spawn in one block, so even though it is right outside the spawner, we should still be safe. Yeah, easy. I brought a lot of stacks of deep slate, just for the build mainly. I don't think this is going to take that many, although it is still quite a ways down here. Okay, now the pathway is a little bit safer. I'm really glad that I caught that before I accidentally stumbled and like fell to my death. Another thing that I will need is a lot of moss, of course, like I always do. But I think I've finally run out of the reserve, so I'm gonna leave this farm running for a little bit while I collect some other stuff. I know that I've got a lot of bricks in one of these barrels. Like seriously, so many. I can safely make a couple stacks and still have so many more. Even a bunch still at my house. And I'm also gonna take some chiseled stone, I think. Maybe not for the outside, but I think it would make a good floor block in this build. And I've been using terracotta a lot lately, but I still haven't found a better way to organize all of these guys. But we'll see, hopefully this guy will at least restock his trade at some point. Another problem with the villagers is the fisherman, or fisherman, singular. I still never know where he is. You know, I'm starting to think he may just no longer be with us. I mean, I did leave like this top of the mountain area open for them to walk around on. And so far I haven't been able to find him anywhere up here. So I guess we'll be making our own campfires today until I can get a new one. Oh my gosh, and another distraction, I completely forgot to put the coral in here that I got for the fish. Let's see, I got quite a lot of this stuff. I'll try my very best to fit it all in here. Oh no, I accidentally broke one. So do I have any extra? Oh, only some blue. Oh, well I had a specific color scheme I was going for, but I'm sure it'll still be fine. I really can't see it that well. Maybe I should have raised the floor a block, but I don't know. You know, instead maybe I'll go rimless on this thing and just make the whole thing glass. I mean, that definitely changes the vibe of it, but you can see a lot more of the fish now. It is very out of place in my basement though. Maybe I'll end up relocating those fish once I make that lake thing. I think I just don't build on a big enough scale for fish tanks, really, because I never really have enough wall space for them. One block I was thinking of using to tie this into the spiders is some mangrove, the idea being that it kind of matches their eyes, which is weirdly romantic, but don't think about it too much. I was really just thinking like the doorway maybe, for a small splash of red with everything else that we'll have. And then completely separate from the spider's eyes, I was also thinking pale oak fences would be good for some windows. One of the last things that I need for today is some copper trap doors, which I actually do have some sitting down here. So we should have plenty already down here for what we need today. And then the very last material I need is actually some netherrack, which again I'm sure are handy dandy chests. Oh, actually it doesn't have any. I don't know what I would have used all my netherrack for. Although I suppose I might never have had that much to begin with. Oh, but actually mud. I forgot that I need mud, so that's good. I'll grab plenty of that. But I guess we're gonna go and take a quick trip into the nether. I really just need some of this for the chimney, because I'm using a lot of bricks in this thing. Oh, and I've just realized that I don't have any gold on, so I don't even think I'm gonna leave my little house. Oh my goodness, I forgot you could run into lava like that. But like I was saying, I think that I'm going to be using too many bricks and like lighter reds in this build. So for a chimney, I think I'm going to have most of it be netherrack. Oh my goodness. Hello, Mr. Pigman. Can you get out? I don't think that you can get out. You might be stuck there forever. So sorry about that, my dude. It does make a nice ornament for our nether portal though. I think that's all of the materials collected, but I just remembered that I left my moss farm running. It hasn't been too long, but I think that's the longest I've ever left it running, because the farm that I used off the internet was very, very efficient. Oh, it's not too much. Oh my gosh, this one though has quite a lot. That's good because I do need a punch for today. But now we should be able to start building. I'll start at the very bottom, of course, with some moss and some green terracotta. This will be like the little porch area with some stairs going down off that way. But that means this layer I think will be all covered up, so I'll use some moss just to make it different than stone. And you know what, while I'm at it, I think I'm gonna like mock up the general height of this build just so I can see how much it's gonna block the bookshop. Okay, so if I do something smaller, kind of like this height, it will kind of block it from a distance, but it'll still be visible coming up here, which is good. And I think kind of the same thing for the greenhouse. Like, we don't really walk from that direction very much, but still if we're walking from here eventually when there isn't a fountain right there, we can still see it. And the same for walking out of the bookshop, we can still see it, which this wouldn't have really affected that anyway. but I'm just really trying to make sure that every in-town build that I make doesn't cover up one of the other ones, because then that would have just been a lot of work for nothing if they're all just too smushed together. And I don't think I've ever really built in this close of a proximity to other stuff before. And it is mainly because of how the roads are laid out in the village. I kind of tried to follow that, but that's really more ideal for a house this size and not a house this size. Of course, though, all of these walls will not be purely moss, so I'm going to reinforce the sides first, starting with some stone bricks, or mossy stone bricks rather, and then some mud, with a little bit of mossy cobblestone in between to make it a little bit grayer, so the mud transition isn't as obvious. And then up near the roof, I'm going to make it a little bit more red. I think that spacing will make it look the best, with the green being bottom and then the top being very red. And then you can kind of see where I've left room for some windows. I really wanted to use the weathered copper trap doors for this, for the shutters on here, and I think to make them look a little bit more green, because they do lean very, very teal in their color, which is not really what I'm going for. I'm going to put some green terracotta behind there, and that really helps give it a background instead of it being very open against the wall. I think that would have looked a little bit too weird. And then I'll do another one with one block of space in between it, kind of almost at eye level down here. And I think the green terracotta does help the trapdoors blend with the rest of it. I do still need the little awnings with the campfires, which I haven't made yet, but to have like a line continuing with where the roof will be, because I think that all is going to be deep slate or something really dark to contrast all of this. And to continue that line, I think I'm going to use some tuff. Oops. Because without that, it's like a lot of just brown at the top, which I kind of knew was going to happen with the color palette I chose, but I think would have been a little bit too much on the front facing wall if it was like that. Like the side ones, I think, and the back ones, I think will be okay, but for the front one, it's going to be good to have something breaking it up. I also never get to use those chiseled tuff blocks because I'm always building into like a more rustic sort of design, so it's kind of fun to use them in a building like this. Okay, I've added a lot of the walls in. I'm definitely going to have a lot of windows in here as well, but you can kind of see what I mean about there being a lot of brown in it. So I think we made the right call on the front. And of course, using the stone for the roof also made it very gray. So the next step is to replace all of that with deep slate. That'll give us a better feel for what the whole build will look like, and it'll make it easier to go back in and detail everything. I did literally just bring a couple stacks of the regular deep slate, so I'm going to go ahead and turn all of it into some different kinds of bricks and things. And I made all of those different kinds so that we can have one of those deep slate gradients going on, going from the tiles to the bricks, and then just the regular cobbled deep slate at the very top. Okay, that's the first roof done. It kind of overhangs twice as much as I usually have it, but that's just so it can connect to the balcony that I've put out here. And as you can see, I've also rounded it off a little bit with some stairs on the edges, which I think helps a lot. Before I did that, it was a little bit too sharp of a cutoff, and with it being such an intense dark, it kind of made it look a little bit too, I don't know, intimidating for cottagecore. Yeah, now that we know that that roof works, I'm just going to repeat the same thing on this side, with probably a little bit less of an overhang, because this one is a little bit higher than the other roof. Right now both roofs are on, and I really like that overhang. Actually, I went with a little bit more of an overhang on the front than I did on the back. The back is just one like usual, but I'm thinking about also adding like a little balcony right here underneath this window. It wouldn't be accessible at all from any doorway or anything, but maybe I could just use it for like a large plant or something on there. I'm thinking something very simple, just like this, maybe surrounded with some spruce. That way the dark oak doesn't compete too much with the roof for color. Then I'll extend like some supporting beams down, which don't fully connect to the planks, but it's fine. Yeah, something like that. Maybe I could even do like some walls that might look like they connect a little bit more than just fences. Okay, now I've made some campfires so we can finish making all of the windows in this build. starting with this first one, which is completely finished except for the campfires. Then I'm going to add another one in here, but it'll only be actually one wide because I really want the shutters on both sides. But over here, I think we can fit in a full-sized one, with full size just being a 2x2. But it would appear that I have run out of my trapdoors, so I'm going to have to resort to using my not quite aged fully trapdoors. I mean, it really shouldn't take them that long to age, but right now they blend in with the walls like a lot. And even with the windows, this wall is a little bit bland back here, so I think I'll add some flower boxes in. For what flowers, I'm not exactly sure yet, but ooh, oh my gosh. Surprisingly, that is the first time I've fallen down that hole while building this, which is pretty good by my standards. But if I do a couple blocks of dirt and then surround it with some basic trapdoors, that should work out just fine. This one is going to be right on the road, but I don't know, I might move it back once I actually build more stuff there. So it's fine for now, having this block slightly a little bit of the road. Nobody ever really walks back here anyways. And this will be railed in, so I can't really do one underneath this window. But I will finally add in the floor to this little balcony porch area. Originally I was going to do all stone, but I didn't want it to be too stony now that we have the deep slate roof on there, so I'm going to try, at least for a second, to see how dark oak wood looks. I think it still fits the spider spawner type of vibe because it's very dark, as opposed to like cobblestone or anything. And you won't really see it, I guess, from far away, but I really like it as you're walking up here. It feels very cozy instead of all cold and like, I don't know, stony, I guess is the only word I can think of. But since it's outside, I think it would be very weathered, so I'm going to go ahead and strip it down to be more like that, which does lighten it a little bit, but I think it still gets the point across. And then I'll do two more right here for our doorway, which, like I mentioned, will be mangrove. And then on top, I'll do some trapdoors that are half covered, but it makes for more of like a fancy little doorway. And then they also work really well for windows, so I think above this one, where we have like a bit of a blank space, I'll just put in the tiniest little window. But the porch does need an actual proper railing, so keeping with the theme, I'll use some mossy stone bricks. I almost used mossy cobblestone instead because it is darker and fits a little bit better with the moss bottom, but in the end I went with the bricks because they're a little bit fancier for a railing. It does blend quite a lot with the main body of the build, but I may be able to fix that by adding maybe like some fences in the corners as more supports and a little bit of a contrast against the stone. Maybe some off that balcony as well, and I think I'll even use some fence gates to break up the walls and the roof a little bit more. I also noticed that there is a line of dirt here because there's path blocks. Some of this may end up being coarse dirt later, but for right now I'll replace it with some moss. It's a very subtle difference, but that thin line of dirt I think would have bothered me too much. And it was just nighttime, and it did scare me a bit how dark this place is. But yeah, it's looking good so far. However, I do want to add a couple of chimneys on this, specifically on this wall where it's a little bit blank and boring. Like I said, we have used quite a lot of bricks in this build, so the bottom is going to be netherrack. And then to transition, I'm going to actually use some decorated pots, and then some red terracotta, before finally at the top coming into some regular bricks, just because these are the only ones that I can really make a wall block out of, unless I used like red nether brick or something, but that would have been very, very intense. So I think this will do, and on the very top, I'm going to try to maybe use some flower pots as a topper. I've never really done this before, but I think it does look kind of like a chimney, and especially looking at it from below, I think it'll blend right in. I'm also going to do one right here. It won't actually go down into the building, I don't think, but for the peak coziness of it, it makes sense. Another benefit to having all of this string is that I can now work with some vines without having to worry about it spreading absolutely everywhere. And in this case, I'm using them to blend it into the ground and also the side of the building because netherrack is a very, very dark block that doesn't really match a whole lot of the other stuff around here. But with that, I think that this build is fully complete on the outside. I'm really happy that we finally got something to fit in this village. I'm really happy that we finally got something in the middle of this village. I mean, we already had the bookshop and like the greenhouse, but I really wanted to move more into this area because I think these are like the last two vanilla structures that are standing on this level of the village. I know there's like some stuff up there, but this is definitely a very good addition to this space. But before we work on the inside, I want to get some more flower pots and I think some poppies to go on the outside. Because the mangrove and the netherrack is nice, but I want something more vibrant. And poppies specifically have that very, very intense coloring. And I'm really hoping I have at least some. Oh, 34, that is way more than I need. I must have just gotten a lot of those from collecting flowers everywhere, but I really don't use them. I mean, or really any of my red flowers in general. There doesn't have to be that many around here. I'm just gonna put like a couple maybe out on the front. And maybe some up here. They won't really be visible from down below, but we'll know they're there. And I guess if I'm gonna go for it, I might as well just put them in the flower boxes as well. Originally, I was gonna put leaves there, but then I realized it didn't really make sense. If I have the dirt there, I might as well put an actual plant on it. But yeah, something about those poppies for some reason makes it look a lot spookier than it was before. I couldn't tell you why, but it definitely has a more ominous presence now that we've added those, which was kind of what I was going for, but definitely very, very contrasty to everything else that we've got going on. But now I really should work on the interior. And since I have placed my chest at a very suboptimal level, I'm going to just transfer everything into a barrel by the doorway instead. And I am still going to use the chiseled stone for the floor, because I think it looks kind of like a spider eye or something spooky like that. And we've got enough of it that I might as well just extend it down a little bit so you can't... Oops, accidentally messing up my bubble column, but it's fine. Anyways, extending it down so that we can't really see it from the top. It'll at least look semi-finished. But there we go. I don't know what else I can do to make this look any fancier, because there's no real decoration one can do with a bubble elevator. I also haven't villager-proofed this place, so if one of them stumbles in here and falls down the pit, that's on them, not me. I'm declaring it now, so it has to be true. But anyways, I think that... Oops. The chimney is right over here. I really should extend it so it actually comes out into the room a little bit instead of just being a flat pane. And that'll also allow us to make a very small little chimney in here. Let's see, it is very, very small, so I'll do my best. Let's see, I'll do like a little curved edge and then do like this in there. That kind of works, right? And I do even have one campfire left over that I can stick in there. Again, this thing is very, very small, so the smoke doesn't go far. So we'll just have to imagine. The main thing that I'm really going to need in here is a lot of storage, so I'll create a few more barrels. And then maybe a few chiseled bookshelves, just like along here by the window. Or actually, maybe they could be used to separate the bubble columns. I mean, yeah, that looks pretty good, right? I'll even make a few shelves to go along here. I also brought all of my cobwebs and my pale hanging moss that I thought would be kind of fun to include. Cobwebs for obvious reasons, but the pale hanging moss also has quite a spooky vibe. I did just make this place so I could basically get candles, so I'll put a bunch of those in as well. But first, I'm going to try to get that spider painting along this wall. Oh, there we go. First try, pretty much. And it is also such a small space that I think I'm going to put a trapdoor over this hole here, because I keep scaring myself almost walking into it. But yeah, this is pretty good decoration in here. I'll just go down and grab some string, and immediately miss closing the trapdoor. But yeah, I still have a stack in here from earlier, so I don't even need to wait for any spiders at the moment. I'll just go right next door and grab some honeycomb, and I'll make all of it into candles, so I should never run out. But I'll head back to my house really, really quick to just grab some dye. I do have a barrel dedicated to just dyes, but I don't have a ton. I do have some green and some red, which is nice, and also a little bit of brown. You know, I guess I might as well just take all of it at the moment. And I will grab some extra cocoa beans because I had an idea for a little railing made out of candles, actually. I only need enough to cover like the edges, so that's like 6 of them. I'll just put them one on each block. Just like that. It's not quite as high as a fence gate would be or anything else, but from the street level it does look like a little tiny railing, while still being short enough that you can actually see the flowers that I have by the window. So yeah, and then I'll just put some plain ones in here. Of course, I'll also make a whole bunch of red ones and a whole bunch of green ones. I've also got a lot of bone meal to make lots of gray dye, which really fits this building in particular. Okay, so I've just added a few around, and I do have flint and steel on me, so I'll light a few of them. I don't really need to, it's plenty light in here, but just to have them be a little bit different, because I did put a lot of them in here. But yeah, now this is a super solid source of candles. We've got a very easy way to access our string farm. There is still one thing I want to do to make this look a little bit less scary, because it is very, very dark. I'm realizing in comparison with especially my greenhouse. I'm going to basically just cover parts of this with some leaves, especially the roof, because it is very, very dark, which was intentional, but also it's a little bit much. I mean, it changes it quite a lot, but it does help soften all of the harshness and scariness that it has. Honestly, I might take away this poppy in here. I can always replace it with like a fern or something less intense. I mean, I tried a tulip, but I think that's still a little bit too much. We've also got this space over here between the road. I kind of tried to make it a little bit more lush with some grass, but instead of doing that, we could also maybe have it be a flower bed of tulips, which would be a lot of red, I know, but it might normalize the red a little bit. I mean, that is kind of cute. I mean, looking at it from this angle, it clashes with the pink a little bit, but honestly, not too bad. And I have been looking for a reason to use these red tulips since I got them. So yeah, I think I'll leave it. Maybe I could even do, well, I don't know, it might be a little bit too small of an area for that. But maybe if I did like some oak trap doors as a little border, it could help it. This will mean using a lot of coarse dirt on the edges since this will turn everything into dirt around here. But if we just do like this, and then up here on the road as well, I actually really do like that. It makes the house look a little bit less scary. I mean, a scary house wouldn't have a flower garden, would it? I mean, I think it's fine. Overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's exciting to finally put something in the center of the village, or, well, the center-ish part of the village. And I have been in desperate need of a source of string for a long time, so that's also really good. But with that, I think that is all of the time that I have for today's video, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.